Dun, 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 dun. So today we're making quick and easy soupy and saucy love. Oh, well, curried summer squash soup.
Yes.
This is perfect. This is the time. Well, a couple days ago was leave zucchini on your neighbor's porch day. And so, you know, now's the time to have an overabundance of zucchinis and summer squashes. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is the seed pack if you ever want to grow your own, or you can go to your farmer's market or local store. Right now, everything is super cheap because obviously there's so many. It doesn't take much, and these are very easy to grow. And they're good.
There's an overabundance of summer squash.
Yeah.
Look how colorful it all is.
Yeah.
Oh, and Fred, look, new pot.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, nice. Bigger.
Well, except
Creates a suction. It's so tight.
sealed.
Oh, that looks good. Looks good.
All right. So let's go over the ingredients. Well, Leah, why'd you pick this soup?
Because last year I grew a medley of squash, and I was the person leaving zucchini on your doorstep. And it was just too much. It was just too much. So my girlfriend told me about this recipe, and I made it, and it's actually wonderful to freeze and have in the winter. It creates a lot. And it's just a efficient use of something that's readily available and in abundance and relatively cheap. So that's
a medley of spices too. So let's see.
Yep.
Says tablespoon of olive oil.
Yep.
Half minced yellow onion.
Yep.
I actually got this from the farmer's market. Let's see. 2 cups finely diced yellow summer squash. Da-da-da. Yeah, there was like 5 different vendors selling those at the farmer's market for like nothing. They were just like, take all you want.
pretty much.
And then 1 cup peeled and diced Yukon gold potato. I tend to never want to peel my potatoes because I grew up being told that the nutrition was in the skin. So if you got good local potatoes, definitely save those.
Yeah, just wash them. They're fine.
Yeah. 1/4 cup diced carrot. This right here is 1 carrot. It's like longer than my hand. So I might end up having a little more carrot than a 1/4 cup.
Yeah.
1 clove garlic. Let's see. Now that's 1 elephant clove, so it might be extra poignant.
That's okay. Lots of garlic is good. And there's lots of, this doesn't have to be a perfect, anything is kind of everything in the kitchen sink. I mean, because
definitely with the spices.
Yeah.
What do you got? Cumin powder, coriander, turmeric, smoked paprika, plus a little extra for topping. Mustard powder, cinnamon. Ooh.
You wanted to be with a cinnamon girl.
And if you don't have all the spices, you can just use a little couple spoonfuls of curry powder, or cinnamon. You could use garam masala.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety. And I wanted to show you something I found at the grocery store. It's called yellow coconut curry starter.
Ooh.
So
actually, when I read this is very much like a coconut curry.
It is.
Yellow squash.
And you could use it as a sauce, a simmer sauce for other things, for other veggies. It's just thinner, it really is kind of a soupy saucy.
Soupy saucy and quick and easy.
Yeah, and a lot of variety. I mean, the most you're gonna use your time is chopping.
All right.
You want to get chopping?
Get chopping.
Get chopping.
Now, Can
So
I just chop everything right into the pot?
Well, you want to start with oil, but don't get it heated quite yet until you have your onions chopped up.
All
So
right.
if you want to put oil just to sit there, but don't heat it up because it might overheat. So here we are with the onion. And
I'd like to say that, I had everything in my cupboard, everything in the kitchen. I didn't have to go and buy anything.
okay,
Everything that you had on the recipe, I had.
good. That's good to
So
hear.
easy.
Yeah, I had all the spices. I did not have potatoes on hand.
So I, as usual, are going to like quadruple the recipe.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, for me, it's for other people. You're going to quadruple just for yourself? Is it that good?
I love to freeze it and give it away.
And
You know.
I would add that if you're using curry powder, look and see, because sometimes they just call it curry powder and all that's in it is turmeric. So you want to check and see what the ingredients are in your curry powder.
Interesting. Yeah, I have all the basics to build it, but I also
And then where is your curry powder from? So like this one's from India, and it's got coriander, turmeric, chilies, fenugreek, chickpeas. This has got chickpea powder in it.
interesting.
That makes it cheap and stretches it out, I guess.
Exactly,
And then mustard seeds. I never noticed that. This is from India, and it's got chickpea powder.
That's
This
why I
one's
mentioned it. Yeah.
This one's from Nepal, and I covered up it was a plastic bag, and I covered up the recipe.
That's pretty legit curry.
All right, so
So we're
cut up onions. How finely? You're just rough cutting.
I'm a fan of super fine. I will even sometimes use a box grater.
Box grater, really
Yeah.
super fine onions.
Sometimes I do that just because I mean everything gets blended, but I don't know. I don't like big onions, I guess. I don't know.
You could put it in like a food processor to chop
Yes.
it up finer.
Yeah. We'll be blending it, but yeah, just whatever, just to get them small. And the key in this is not too hot of oil to brown them. We just obviously want to get them translucent and softened. And that's only going to be once the oil is heated and the onions are in there just about 4 or 5 minutes. We don't want to brown them because we're going to be cooking a lot of other stuff with it.
Yeah, I really like making like veggie stir fries and frittatas.
Yep.
So my goal is just start the oil and then start chopping stuff in there in the order that it takes to cook them.
Yep.
And try to race it.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to start with your garlic, because the garlic will burn while you're trying to cook your onions. So you want to put your garlic kind of toward the end when the onions are getting translucent, then put your garlic.
Unless you're doing both types, like Italian tends to do both. They have the roasted garlic and then fresh garlic.
Well, if you got big chunks of garlic, it's okay. But if you chop your garlic up, it'll burn if you're not careful.
You're absolutely correct. In this recipe, we're actually adding the squash, potato, carrot before we even add the garlic. So it's actually down the line.
Yeah.
My God.
All right, I'm ready to turn on my oil.
Let's get this kitchen hot.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Is your fire on, Hor?
My fire?
What's
Under
that?
your pan.
No, I haven't turned it on yet. I'm doing 2 onions.
Okay, you need to have the oil in before you put the onions in.
Yes.
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
But I mean, the idea is to
heated?
heat up the oil and then add the onions, not
Sorry.
add them and then turn it up.
Or did you have your onion heated, but not too hot? It's
No,
okay.
I do.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll survive. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it will.
But I think that's partially why I really like cooking. Is it is forgiving.
Yes.
And that's
Okay.
probably why I'm not very good at baking, because I don't follow the recipes as good.
Okay, if anyone is on their way to chopping the squash, I experienced if you have a lot of bigger seeds, get them, because they will become kind of like little nuggets of stuff in your soup. If you have, good fresh ones, the seeds are pretty soft. You wouldn't have to worry.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
if
the
you have-
small ones, you hardly have any seeds, but
Yeah.
the really big ones.
I think you
If you
could
get-
use a spoon to scoop them out too.
Yes, I highly recommend getting rid of the bigger seeds because they will come through and you'll be like, what is that?
And everything in this recipe, you're trying to cut up as much as possible because you're going to blend it, right?
So
Yeah.
are we putting the squash in with the onion?
After the onion cooks about 4 or 5 minutes
Mhm.
until it's translucent, then you're gonna add the squash, then you're going to add the potato, and then
Okay.
you'll carrot, and then we'll do the garlic after that. All right, so my oil is hot. I'm throwing in the onion. And like I said, it's soup. It's very forgiving. It's okay.
Now, do you ever do this where it is actually chunky, or you always blend it?
I've always blended it. I mean, I suppose it'd be the same flavors. I don't know. It honestly is a recipe I've only used last year for the first time. So
I mean,
I
part of
haven't.
it sounds like you're making more of a curry than like a chunky stew.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, and if you're
Make it a
using,
stew.
if you're using an immersion blender, you can just take some of it
Yeah.
and then blend it and put it back in, and you can still have chunks if you want.
Correct.
But I mean, we're truly making a soup, which a soup tends to not be chunky.
Yes. But if you want to be fancy, it's smooth.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, take the big seeds out.
Yeah. If you're finding, especially later in the year when the squash never stops, growing in your garden.
You don't pick them like every day. They get really big really quick.
Yeah. And of course, I'm saving the ends for my chickens and all the scraps.
And I'm of course saving the ends for my veggie broth.
Oh, good.
That's how I make veggie broth, is I save all my bits. And then I just put them in the pressure cooker and do it real quick.
Nice.
All right, so is it all right if I cut the squash and the potatoes in the same bowl, or is this separate?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you can throw in squash, potatoes, carrots at this point while things are, getting going.
They're all going the same place.
Yep. In your tummy.
Now, is there other vegetables you put in here before?
You can omit the carrot, you can omit the potato. I was reading that some people will even add lentils to create, a substitute for the potato and the carrot. So,
Let's see, how about tomatoes?
a lot of curries do have tomato in it, so it wouldn't be sacrilegious, but if you have, throw it in.
It just seems like this time of the year, there's an overabundance of tomatoes also.
Yes, that is true.
All right.
All right, I'm throwing in my squash.
I normally don't buy potatoes. I don't know what it is, but like local good potatoes are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Stir your onions, or yeah, get a stick, get something in there and stir them.
You don't like
Spoon or
my
something.
chef style of shaking it?
Well, not really.
Yeah, my new pot is a stainless steel wok. So it has
Nice. Yeah,
different temperatures. You know,
Yeah,
at the
I
very
like it.
bottom it's hotter and the sides it's less hot.
yeah, I like the way that's designed. That's nice.
And because of the, I guess, the pandemic shortage, I didn't get the other part. The other part is an electric skillet that goes under it, that I could use it for, you know, portability if I need to go somewhere else to cook. And that hasn't come. They have shortages of computer chips to run those.
Well, what I got on my wish list is an induction burner.
I have one of those. I could use this on the induction burner. That's true. But
Yeah, what's
like
nice
these
about
stainless
that,
steel pots, they're made in America, but the electronic flat plate underneath was not.
yeah,
Leah, does the
Yeah.
broth come in next?
Is the what?
The broth.
What we're going to do is we will be adding wine, or I don't
Okay.
use wine, but you can use cooking sherry. You can skip this, and then do the broth after you've cooked the onion, squash, potato.
I
Here.
used to always skip like I wasn't really into alcohol for many of my years, but I found out when you cook with alcohol, just a little bit is a flavor enhancer, and the alcohol actually dissipates when you cook.
that's right. And
Like,
it's
it was
it's
amazing.
acidity really improves the flavor.
So you could also add a little bit of vinegar instead, but it's not as good.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of mentioning that vinegar is a great thing people use in soups to kind of brighten it and balance it. So
Oh, that's a good word to use. Yeah, when you add cooking wine, it brightens it.
Yeah.
It really gives it this zing.
I have the cooking wine left over from when we made canochi or something. We had that, so I still had it in the refrigerator.
great.
All right. Yeah, I think my onions are good. Let me put the potatoes and squash in.
I think really the only difference between cooking wine and regular wine is there's usually salt in them. So you wouldn't want to drink the cooking wine out of the bottle like.
I always assumed it was a lower quality wine, but
Well, it probably is that too. Yeah, so just about any wine is probably going to be better than the quality of cooking wine.
I was always told that if you can't drink the cooking, or if you can't drink the wine, don't use it to cook with.
That's the way I feel too.
say that
Yeah,
again.
If you can't drink the wine, you don't want to cook with it.
Oh, yeah.
I think sherry's an acquired taste too. Of course, you're not using a bunch, so it's not going to have much. Not like your soup's going to taste like sherry.
And also, it could be really high in alcohol, which is harsh to drink, but it's okay for cooking.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the alcohol is going to go off while it's cooking.
Or, you know, if it's more like the wine has gone bad a little bit, like more like vinegar, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, it can kind of lose its taste. It doesn't always turn into vinegar, but
Now,
Okay, I have all my veggies going. I'm gonna turn it up and actually put a lid on it just to kind of help the steam cook everything faster. And then I'm going to prep my my broth. You can use veggie broth. This is something I love. It's roasted chicken base. I'm sure some of you have seen this.
yeah, better than bouillon.
Yeah, better than bouillon. They also make a beef one. They also make a veggie one. So I'm gonna put a lid on this and get that, you know, root vegetables and squash.
And the fact that there's lots of liquid in those vegetables, so you don't need lots of liquid.
Yeah, the squash it's helpful steam it, but I just want to make sure it's done. Let's see. Where's my lid?
so let's see. Have you ever put like different peppers in it, like bell pepper or hot peppers or sweet peppers?
I haven't, but you totally could. That's
Yeah, one thing the regulars on the show know about me is I always ask, what are different options?
yeah.
But what is something you think we shouldn't ever put in here?
I don't know. I mean, no, I wouldn't do
Strong
celery.
vegetable flavor like a beet, I wouldn't put.
Yeah, I wouldn't do.
I probably wouldn't put tomatoes in this, even though quite often curry has tomatoes. I probably would skip tomatoes.
Yeah.
Because the squash is mild, is pretty mild flavor.
And you can use summer squash. You can use patty pans. Just kind of stick to the yellows. I've always wondered if zucchini, but I haven't tried zucchini with this one. That'd be weird, but maybe it would be good. I don't know.
Yeah, so you could have different kinds of curries. You could have a yellow one, you could have a green one. So.
Yeah, I have a recipe for sweet potato curry. It's
Oh.
really good.
I gotta get my garlic in. So I have the cooking wine and the broth getting prepped, and I forgot about the garlic, so I gotta get that going here.
I take it back. I think I'm going 6 times as much. Part of it is I got 4 big yellow squashes. These yellow squashes are pretty big. And of course, my usual, whatever the size of the pan is, that's how much I make.
I'm the same way, or I always make for an army or freeze. I can't
too.
help it. It happens.
It's no more work to make it twice as much.
That is true. I agree.
So I grew this lovely hot pepper called an Ethiopian brown pepper. And
Wow.
it looks kind of reddish brown. And I just touched a little bit of it to my tongue. It's yummy. It's super spicy.
Don't
You might
stick your hands in your face.
Yeah. You could take a chug of your coconut milk if it gets too
Yeah.
much.
Oh, no, it's fine. So I have to actually leave in about 9 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make your recipe later. What I'm
Yes.
doing is I'm doctoring up a soup that I made yesterday.
Wonderful.
And I'm leaving it chunky, but now I'm adding like a coconutty base in it. So
Oh, good.
yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, have a good time and thanks for joining.
Yeah. Oh, this is awesome.
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for
come back
your
and-
service thanks for your service at the polls.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Suzanne, how about you? Was
Mhm.
most of this available directly from your garden?
Some of it from my garden, but I did not grow yellow squash, and I need to do that. I keep forgetting to put it in my garden. So
Well, if you just de-seed the ones you buy and toss them out there, they'll be there forever.
I would love that. I would love to have that problem.
Yeah, there'll be volunteers.
Yeah, I'm growing a bunch of Jerusalem artichoke, aka sunchoke. I love those. I can't get rid of them, but that's
Yeah.
okay. I love it because I make a sunchoke relish, which is amazing.
Wow.
Mm. I have friends that are always trying to pawn that on me, and okay, that's good to know. A relish.
Yeah, and plus it takes away the fartiness of it because you've cooked the heck out of it. So
Yeah, they did warn me about that part too.
Yep.
See, I think I'm debating whether I should blend it or use the stick blender.
I know I have like a, what do you call it? Like a food ninja, and I also have an immersion blender. I also busted this antique out.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, this is like my mom's and possibly my grandma's food mill. So it's got like almost like a mortar pestle, but it's a,
Cool.
powder. So I'm
Wow.
I mean, a lot of you are probably familiar with this. They
Yep.
sell them online. And they're really expensive.
That's
new,
beautiful.
but
I just
But
bought a
yes, I use-
commercial size one of those
yeah.
for at an auction, but it doesn't have that little nice metal stand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
But
need,
it's probably
yeah.
twice as big as that.
but yeah, I use this for when I process tomatoes out of the garden because you don't want all the seeds and the weird things.
Yeah.
So you
that's
can just
cool.
cook your ugly tomatoes up and then this kind of separates the weird stuff out. But
I just looked up Jerusalem artichoke and I was surprised to find it's a species of sunflower.
wow.
I did not know that.
I should know that.
It is, and I think last year, no, the year before last, I think I harvested 30 pounds out of my garden.
Wow.
And I mean, you live very far in the north, so it's a little harder to grow stuff. So
Yeah, not super far up north, so
what are you talking about? Aren't you almost on the Canadian border?
no.
I'm just like I'm way in the south, so
Where
It's-
from up north?
I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, okay. I'm near Stevens Point in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, nice.
so directly east.
Yep. I'm literally like a half mile off Highway 10, which was the old highway that used to go through Minneapolis. It kind of goes where 35W is. It kind of parallels 94 on the north side. That's
Oh,
old
yeah.
highway.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So
I
I'm off Highway 10.
You guys are like
We're neighbors.
We're neighbors.
neighbors,
Yeah.
like what?
We're like
6 hours
this.
apart.
I get her storms. So when her storms are happening, they show up
Yeah.
at my doorstep a few hours later.
A few hours later. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like sounds like someone's already blending. Yeah, I really love these. I found this farmer who grows these elephant garlics that actually has flavor.
Yeah, because I wanted to mention, I think I mentioned before that the elephant garlic is not as strong as regular garlic, and it's quite often used raw in salads because it's not that strong.
It's so mild,
Generally.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a mild.
But I found a farmer who grows them, and they're not, they're still not as strong, but they actually have a decent garlic flavor.
Yeah,
And so I like it because it gives you quite a bit of. So, all right, what step are we on?
I'm just getting my veggies still soft. I have my broth ready. I'm waiting to add liquids, but right now I'm trying to look for the attachment to my immersion blender. I'm not SOL because I have another food ninja, but I'm trying to find.
Oh, are they doing work at your house? Because I hear it's.
is that a skill saw or a blender?
Can you tell who's doing that?
Lulu came late again. What happened, Lulu?
Now everyone should know with an immersion blender, do not let that part come up above the surface because it'll like let go of the button before you raise it.
Otherwise, it'll be on the walls.
Oh, and turmeric and curry stains. It does.
Yeah. It's easy to forget. It's easy to forget too.
Yeah.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late.
Hi.
So far, we've cut up, let's see, onions, potatoes, carrots,
Squash,
and yellow squash, and we're frying them,
Um,
Sorry, I'm
steaming.
missing it.
and garlic.
or steaming them, yeah. I mean, really frying because it's cooking in its own moisture because there is no water in here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of liquid in those vegetables.
That's what I like about a good thick pot. you can do almost, what do they call it? Waterless cooking.
Yeah, not likely to burn with all those vegetables.
It's the moisture of the vegetable is cooking it without.
Yeah, and we saw how tight that lid fits on that pan. There was a little vacuum on it even.
I only used it once. This is my second time this particular pan. But as you can see, I've used this particular brand. This is the old one from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
My
Okay,
original.
Leah's making up her bouillon.
Yep, I'm making my broth. I'm just making sure the potatoes and carrots are getting good and softened. Because it'll blend obviously much better. All right.
So I have, that same, like, the bouillon for emergencies.
Yep.
But I tend to make my broth by saving all my bits, veggie bits.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Where is it? You usually have a bunch of it.
like,
There you go.
so that's
There
a
it is.
quart,
Look
and
at
then I
that.
can it. So I'll do, I usually freeze it, and then I tend to do it in the winter when I want to heat up the house. Not in the summer when I waste. So
Oh, sorry. Before we're adding the broth and we need to okay, so we did the garlic and now we actually need to add the spices.
I haven't added the garlic, so add the garlic to it.
Add the garlic and then we're gonna do the spices and then we're gonna do the cooking sherry or cooking wine and then the broth. Then we let it simmer. Everyone can have a potty break. And then we'll blend it and then voila.
Okay, so spices.
So we're at the spice crossroads. So this is
Cumin, coriander, turmeric, and smoked paprika. Cumin.
Oh God, that means we gotta eat some more pasta.
I found this local Amish who smoked the paprika, and oh my goodness.
wow.
I
That's
don't know what would they smoke it with, but
Yeah.
it's like
Hopefully it wasn't horse manure.
yeah, that's true. They don't say what they smoke it with.
But it was probably horse manure.
It's like turmeric.
Turmeric, yep, paprika. You can do cayenne pepper if you're on the spicy side.
Bye, everyone. Have fun. Lulu, I'm
All right.
letting you take care of the rest of it.
Bye, Suzanne.
Bye.
It all has to be powder, right?
Bye.
What's that for?
It all has to be powder.
I mean, this is where you're
Well, I mean, if
creating.
I use the coriander, you would be spitting out seeds. So
Well, hey, that brings up a thing I'd like to share. This is an old sea salt grinder, and I actually have coriander seed in it.
Oh,
So I actually, I read an article once of, must-haves in your spice selection, and that was have a freshly cracked coriander. So yeah, I actually just use an old grinder and added the seed, and then
Oh.
I have an old coffee grinder. If you listen here for a second, maybe you can hear it.
yep,
yeah, that's a good repurposing of that because a lot of those spices come with a grinder on them.
yep.
Talk about the number of salt grinders we have in our house that have things in it that are unlabeled.
So I absolutely
Yeah, this
love
one's not
getting
labeled.
whole coriander and just grinding it up in a coffee grinder.
You kind of just take a whiff and smell, and then you know what's inside. You don't need a label that way.
Of course, in my coffee grinder, I don't use it for coffee because then it'd have coffee flavor.
Yeah, that's right.
But I found cumin and coriander. It's so much better to just have the fresh seeds.
That's right.
Let's see how much turmeric.
And you can go easy on the cinnamon. I mean, if you're not a fan of it, but
There's actually people who are allergic to cinnamon.
yeah, or just people have a dislike.
I have a friend who's so allergic she can't even go into coffee houses
Wow.
during like Christmas season because they sprinkle cinnamon on everything.
Shit.
All right, so let's see. How much?
This is where you add, extra.
Oh, I get to use my new spoons. Someone gave me this. This is, this one's a smidgen, a pinch, a dash, and a tad.
Oh, funny.
And it says a pinch of cayenne pepper. So let's see. But I made it 4 times as much. So I'm going to put 4 pinches. There you go. 1 pinch, 2 pinch. This is fun. I mean, it's so funny because they're just slightly different and
How
small.
many does 4 pinches equal?
Oh, I should measure that. Let's see.
A smidge, of course.
I feel like 4 pinches should be a smidgen.
Yes, a 4 pinch.
Actually, yeah. I mean, if you look at it,
An 8 to a dash.
Camera. This is a pinch and this is a smidge, and it looks about 3 times as big.
Oh, he
Does
wasn't
it tell
kidding.
you? Because I saw a set that I was thinking about getting where it actually tells in imperial and metric how much it actually is in each one of those little portions.
There is an official like amount that each one is supposed to be.
Oh, come on.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, there is. You're right.
A pinch, it has to do with how big
Probably-
your fingers is.
Probably from the Culinary Institute, no doubt.
Yeah,
or
something is 1/8 of a teaspoon, and that's as much as I ever paid attention to. But I looked it up once because, Amy's trivia.
Okay, let's see. I put in cumin. I ground some fresh coriander, put that in there. Turmeric, smoked paprika. My cayenne. I still haven't put in mustard powder and cinnamon. Oh, mustard powder. Be very careful with mustard powder.
Yeah, don't go crazy with it.
I'm putting too much of that before. That is strong.
Don't do it. I'm just giving a pot shot of my
A
pot.
pot shot. Good. All right.
I gotta, okay, there.
That's looking hot.
So
she's-
I'm feeling, I got my spices in, I'm stirring, I got the garlic in there enough. I'm ready to
Like curry.
either cooking wine or curry or broth. And
So
this
it's interesting here, like compared to the regulars, whenever we did spicy stuff for India and Nepal, we always started with the spice and then add the vegetables. It's very
Well, quite
interesting.
often in Indian cooking, they fry the spices. You're right.
Yeah, they toast it. A lot
They
of,
toast them, yeah.
yeah.
Quite often mustard seeds. They have brown and black mustard
I don't
seeds.
think I want to make this into soup. I think I just want to eat it right now. We've got like potatoes and carrots with curry in it, just all.
Yeah, dude, that's
Put a couple scoops aside before you add your liquid.
I mean, you are correct. It is kind of like adult baby food in the end.
I'm gonna taste it right now. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Well, I'm ready to add my broth, and then make sure you're stirring, after you add either the cooking sherry and the wine, and we're gonna simmer it. Let's see, and then we add the coconut milk after we blend it. So,
Okay, so 2 cups, and I'm going.
yeah.
I think I'm just gonna do 4. It'll be a thicker soup. Well, no, I'm adding the coconut milk later.
And you should err on the side of it being more liquidy, just so it blends better.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just debating whether, because I didn't measure how much onions or squash I put in there. I just cut them up.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's just kind of whatever, and make it, you'll
I'm
have to
debating
add,
whether it's 4 times or 6 times as much.
yeah. I'm
So to catch a sketch can.
and there's no salt, no pepper in this, but if you feel,
Oh, I still forgot cinnamon.
oh yeah, and yeah, you don't have to go crazy on that one either.
So let's see. Oh, I forgot cinnamon and mustard powder.
Yeah, those are the ones to go easy.
Where's my mustard powder?
All right, so this is where you can take a potty break, clean up, whatever. I'm gonna go throw my veggie scraps to the chickens.
It's like,
And I'm gonna
now,
probably,
now, do I turn this all the way up to give it a good simmer?
yep, just keep an eye on it, you know, put the lid on it. Yep, just obviously don't let the bottom burn.
I'm still adding some cinnamon. That's funny. I didn't measure any of the vegetables, but I'm measuring the spice. So that's
Yeah.
kind of silly.
I did a little bit, but
So how much mustard? A quarter teaspoon. So I'm acting like this is 4 times as much, which I think as far as the veggies go, it was actually 6 times as much. But we'll find out when I.
But like you said, you can't take out if you get too much mustard powder, you can't take it out.
Yeah. Oop. All right, make it nice and level. Oh, I just took a whiff of that and my eyes are crying now. Ooh. Have you ever had mustard oil?
Yeah, I have it.
I actually, when I bought it at the International Grocery, it has a sign on it that says, for external use only. They act like it's massage oil because it is so intense. All right, now I have to put the cinnamon. How much cinnamon? Well, coconut milk, it just says a quarter cup of coconut milk.
In India, that's the main oil that people use for cooking, is mustard oil.
Apparently, I wonder, because it's so strong, I wonder if people have just overdid it in the US and then they've.
I think it's the way it's processed. That's why they put that sign on it. But I spoke to a lot of Indian people and I asked them, do you use that the one that has the sign on it? You know what I mean, on the bottom? They said, yes, no problem. So. But I think it's the way it's processed. That's why they put the sign.
Okay. But at this point, I mean, you could eat this soup. It'd be more like a stew because it's thick and chunky, but all the vegetables are cooked.
yep, and you can add,
I use the blender on mine and I put all this stuff in. The only thing I haven't put is the cilantro on top. And I'll tell you something, it's really delicious.
oh,
I'm
good.
eating it now. It's really good.
I might not have stirred it enough because I just tasted a lot of cinnamon, so I need to stir it better. But I'm just gonna try just the broth.
I wish you had made it, Fred, because you would have enjoyed it.
Oh, that's nice. It's not. Yeah, all that vegetables without putting any water in there, all were cooked. And I guess if you make it too spicy, you add the coconut milk and that will.
Well, you know, I put this dried chilies in mine. Those dried red chilies, you know.
Not only that, you won't know what to do with a half a thing of coconut milk, so you might as well put the whole can in.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't try that.
I mean, that's the secret of soups at restaurants. They add a lot of cream in it. So
Yeah.
should I add a jalapeno in it? I got a question.
Maybe.
Like the whole week.
But, yeah, you can use cream and dairy if you don't have coconut milk. I mean, it wouldn't make it vegan, but yeah, cream is a secret.
This jalapeno is red.
Well, they turn red when they ripen, I
So-
think.
Oh, well, I probably should put the lid on this. All right. So that's everything except blending it. Where do I
Yep.
put my blender?
And I also recommend just kind of turning the heat off when you blend it so you don't get yourself with hot liquid. I mean, you're gonna possibly, but I'm gonna let mine just cook a little more, and then I'm gonna take a pee break and put scraps out for the chickens. But I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna just pause the recording for a second.
And we're
What I liked about this is the fact that we didn't like put a bunch of water to boil the hell out of the vegetables. It was just like they cooked in their own juices. So,
So I'm gonna make a little noise and blend it. And like I said, don't let it rise above the surface. Otherwise it will
I'm
spatter.
actually gonna get a bowl of it out so I can try it blended and unblended to figure out which one I like better.
Blended is really good.
Now, did you add the coconut milk before you blended it?
No, no,
Okay.
that's one of the last things. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could, oops, let me switch cameras. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's pretty, I mean, it's probably half chunk and half liquid, mine. So, yeah, I probably don't need a whole bowl full. But
So
try it.
Leah did add broth, didn't she?
Yeah,
Yes.
but we cooked all the vegetables first and then added the broth.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I used cooking shake and then go ahead or and broth. Yeah.
How did we do this before we had this?
That thing that Leah showed us before,
Oh.
where it's kind of like a ricer a little bit. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we used in the old days there, right
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
That's
This
a
is-
poor man's immersion blender.
Is it really? I've seen those and I have no idea what to do with it.
Yep. I actually used this last year when I did have a lot of seeds in the soup, and I used this to get the seeds out. I actually put, even though I blended it, there were still little bits of seed. So I put it through here and got it really nice and smooth.
Well,
Yeah.
if anybody comes across one of those, feel free to send it to me as a gift because I would love to have one.
I come across those, but I'm not at liberty to take them.
Well, okay.
They
I
are
think-
the houses that.
I think a lot of people just have them as decorations nowadays.
And they're like antiques.
I've seen them in the houses we pet sit.
What's nice about them is you don't need electricity, it's
Well,
kind
that's
of
why I
fun.
like it. I live off grid.
It's kind of fun to have things that, that
Yeah,
I
it goes, like you say, it goes back to when people are out on the farm with no electricity.
All right.
Oh boy.
Well, I didn't add I want to taste it without the coconut milk with chunks versus not chunks. So adult baby food, here we go. First one. And then just as chunks.
I'm telling you, this soup is so good.
So
Thank you,
basically
Lisa.
it took me 2 more bites to eat it, 2 more chews to eat it, not blended. But I do like the curry of this. Well, I haven't even added the coconut milk yet. But I'm debating
What?
if I wasn't freezing it, I think I would like it as whole. Just, eat a few bowls of it
Mhm. without
without blended, and then blend it and freeze. Mm-hmm.
All right, I blended. I'm gonna add the coconut milk. And then, you can then serve it. And you can drizzle coconut milk on top of it, sprinkle paprika, put croutons, cilantro as toppers, get as fancy as you want. And like Or was saying, it could be a simmer sauce for other meats and veggies down the road. But yeah, you can blend to your heart's delight. But yeah, it's really personal preference.
This is so good. Like, you could freeze it in small, like pint bags, and then you could
Oh.
just use it for.
Yep. Actually, I did read a lot of people say freeze it before you add the coconut milk, and then if you thaw it, then add the coconut milk. But I did it last year with dairy, and I froze it, and it was perfectly fine. Oof.
Mm.
Did
I
you
almost
even
ate my whole bowl already.
Oh boy, I did the immersion blender outside. Oh well. I did exactly what I knew I would do. Oh well.
All right. Now
Or did you even add the coconut milk yet?
I did, but I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh, okay, good deal.
Now that I got the bowl with the coconut milk.
Yeah. But yeah, at this point, you don't need a whole lot of heat on it if you just want to turn your heat down or off. And that's really it.
That's very interesting because this tastes like if you buy, basically the yellow coconut curry.
Yep.
To simmer meat or vegetables or any of that stuff in.
Yep.
And I'm sure, that stuff is really expensive. And this one right here was,
Relatively
this time
affordable.
of the year was really cheap because you used yellow
So-
squash. And
Yeah, here's another pot shot. So that's where we're at.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot of soup. I think I only use like 2 or 3 I don't even know, 2 potatoes and 3 squash. I did use a lot of extra liquid beyond the 2 cups of broth just because I didn't want it thick. It will thicken, as it kind of steams off. But yeah, that's it. And I'll just let it cool and ladle it into freezer bags and voila.
How big of freezer bags do you do? The quarts, pints?
I honestly use gallon.
I use 1 quart Ziploc
Yep.
freezer bags, and I buy them. If you go to a restaurant supply or a commercial place, you can buy like 300 of them, and instead of buying them in small boxes, you get a much better deal.
Oh, that's a good deal because
Yeah.
I actually have the commercial grade tinfoil and saran wrap. I've threatened to buy them as wedding gifts for people, but I haven't yet because it lasts you years.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a Costco I think it's called Costco Business Center or something, where you can buy these aprons like I wear, waiters aprons and all that. They're really super cheap. You can buy
Sorry, I
them.
got distracted. I had to eat my bowl of soup. All right. I'm back. So anybody have any final questions or Leah, any final tidbits?
No, like I said, you can dress it up with, microgreens or croutons or crackers or, it's pretty versatile and makes a lot and you can, save it for the future or give it away. But it's a good use of squash.
I think this is especially good for people who don't eat vegetables.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah, plus you could throw shrimp into that. You could just, defrost some and put in some shrimp if you wanted to.
Well, now you've got basically the yellow curry that you have had before, but
Yep.
very, very, very cheaply and well made.
Yeah.
All right.
And healthy.
Don't ruin it, Fred. Don't ruin it. All right. Any final questions? Everybody, let's stick around and eat some soup together and talk more food, the usual. And I forgot what we're making next week, but I'll look it up. Thank you, Leah.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Leah.
It was my first time, so thank you.
Good job.